It's Fans Corner. Welcome to it, and thank you so much for making time for us once again. We are back in the CAF Champions League. It's the quarterfinal stages, and we've just watched MC Alger against Orlando Pirates out in Algeria. That game ending 1-0 in favor of Orlando Pirates. A smash and grab really from Orlando Pirates, considering how the game went. But before we go into the game, what really caught my attention initially, especially coming from the Sundowns and Esperance game, as the level of organization in Algeria, the order that you saw on the stands, the supporters of MC Alger. The Algerians really love order. Actually, I saw this again in a game between Algeria and I forgot who Algeria were playing in the World Cup qualifiers. What an amazing level of organization out there in Algeria. We saw that again tonight in the game between MC Alger against Orlando Pirates. They picked a different stadium. It's not the stadium that they usually play their home games. It's a bigger stadium, and they packed it to capacity. The level of discipline and order, it's completely different from what we saw here in South Africa between Sundowns and Esperance. And unfortunately, there were some unfortunate incidents in the game between Sundowns and Esperance. But I have to commend the Algerians, man. It's not every day you see that on the stands, especially in an African game of football. That was amazing, and we are seeing it again now. We've seen it a number of times, but this time around it really caught my attention. How they organized the crowd and how they color coded the seats and so on. Beautiful things. You see that as well in Morocco, I think. Yeah, you see that also in Morocco. It's not as chaotic as some African countries. I really enjoy seeing things like that on the stands. It makes for a beautiful picture, especially for the African football. But that level of order and discipline was only in the crowd, only in the stands. That's all. When you get into the game itself, it was just chaos all over the pitch, especially in the first half. We saw how MC Alger wanted to play the game in the first half. I think their plan was to get a goal, an early goal, so that it could settle their nerves. Had they gotten the goal with that kind of crowd behind them, I don't think Pirates would have been able to come back. It was just so chaotic in the first half. The level of the tempo of the game was so high. It was so intense, and I don't think Pirates actually expected that the game would start like that. I don't think they were prepared for that kind of a game, because you saw even the way Pirates responded in the first half. Even they did not really know what to do, because every time they won the ball, almost every time when they won the ball, they lost it again, because MC Alger was right on their neck every now and then. But I think the other thing is that it then shows you, if you watch the game, you get to see that Pirates are a much better team than that MC Alger, because you could see that even when they had the ball, they had most of the ball throughout the whole game, especially in the first half. In the first half, Pirates had to suffer. They had to suffer in the first half and go to the halftime. And credit to Pirates for actually going to the halftime still not trailing, because they could have easily conceded a goal at any time in the first half. But like I said, I don't think they were prepared for. They expected MC Alger to start the game the way they started. The high tempo, high intensity game. They made it difficult for Orlando Pirates. And Pirates are not a team that will sit back and defend. But today they had to be pushed back a little bit, but even then you could see they want to play the game, and that's why they kept on losing the ball, because of the press that was coming from the MC Alger players. It was difficult for Pirates to hold on to the ball. I think they made it difficult for Pirates to hold on to the ball, because they know once Pirates are comfortable on the ball, they're going to cause problems for you, and that's why we saw them making so difficult. But every time Pirates won the ball, they just lost it, because the guys were just everywhere. And to show that Pirates as a team were not prepared to face a team that plays like that, especially in the first half, you saw how each and every player responded differently. You could see that it was not a team response. Some players responded differently to other players from the Pirates side. But come the second half, I think now the coach would have settled them down and made sure that they don't panic, because because of the chaos that happened in the first half. It was so chaotic, and Pirates had to respond with their own kind of chaos. It was so difficult for Pirates to even to string in about 5 passes after winning the ball. Even if when they intercept the ball, they ended up losing it again. Yes, they had chances here and there, but it was difficult in the first half. They did their suffering. In the second half, they came back a little bit more organized. That is Orlando Pirates. But even MC Alger realized that strategy in the first half didn't really work. So they tried to now start moving as a block and stop the chaos that we saw in the first half. They looked a little better, this MC Alger team, when they were a little bit more organized, now attacking as a unit instead of the chaos that we saw in the first half. They looked a little bit better, but now Orlando Pirates were really willing to soak the pressure that was coming now as a unit, and they understood the task now. It was just the plan was to get them on the counter, win and get a goal, because it's important to get an away goal. And when Nkota came in, I started thinking to myself, it's one of those players that I've been talking about in a number of games involving Orlando Pirates, especially when he didn't start. Remember, in the other one, I even said it's not about Shandu, it's about the fact that I prefer having Nkota starting a game. And we saw a different dimension to this Orlando Pirates. They were willing to soak to absorb the pressure, but they're also willing to create their own counter-attack chances, and they got it perfect precision. What a way to score the goal by Nkota, because he was so composed in front of the goals. I'm telling you, if the MC Alger players got the same chance that Pirates scored through, they probably wouldn't have scored, because they are so not composed. They are so much in a hurry. They were so much in the hurry. It's similar to what I saw Sundowns doing in the first half of their game against Esperance, because they were so much in a hurry, desperate to win the game. I think MC Alger also tried to do that, and it never worked for them, because honestly speaking, if you are going to compare the two teams, put them on paper and scale them one against the other, I think Pirates are a much better team than this MC Alger, and even they know it, MC Alger, because you could see even in the middle of the park, they knew that if they are going to play the ball in the middle of the park, they're going to lose it. That's why they never really played it. When they held it from the back, they tried to drive with it and then get into the final third and try to pass each other and pressing and pinning Pirates against the wall, but still it never worked. They had that a little bit of fear against Orlando Pirates, and right now I think it's going to be a Mount Kilimanjaro for them to climb, because coming to Orlando, I don't see them coming back. I don't see them coming back, because Pirates are going to pin them against the wall. I don't think they are capable of orchestrating this kind of smash and grab that Orlando Pirates did out in Algeria tonight. I don't see them. I think Pirates are through. I'm not. I don't want to jinx it for Orlando Pirates. I think they're as good as through. One leg into the semi-final. They just have to manage the situation, not get carried away. The other thing that works for them, Orlando Pirates, I think they're much sober than their North African counterparts. These North Africans are known for being very emotional when they play. So in the second leg, I think emotions are going to get the better of them. And if Pirates play their cards right, they could even beat them by an even bigger score out in Orlando next week. And we hope that happens. From a South African perspective, you heard what I said in the previous video, the game against between Mamelodi Sundowns and Esperance. I did say that it would be nice to see Pirates and Sundowns in the semi-finals, and also probably if they also meet in the finals. It will be great. It will be really great to see that happening. Otherwise, this has been Fans Corner. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Please remember to subscribe, like the videos, and also recommend them and share them with your friends. We meet again in the next one.